Today our topic is the Stoic secret to happiness. Life is a journey full of ups and downs, and sometimes it feels like we are on a roller coaster of emotions. But what if I told you that there is a way to find peace and happiness even in the middle of chaos? This is where Stoicism comes in. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. The Stoic secret to happiness is not about avoiding problems or seeking constant pleasure. It is about changing how we see the world and how we respond to it. Let me explain. The first lesson of Stoicism is to understand what is in our control and what is not. Think about it. We cannot control the weather, other people's actions, or even many of the events that happen in our lives. But we can control our thoughts, our actions, and how we react to situations. This is the key. When we stop worrying about things we cannot change, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress. For example, if it rains on the day you planned a picnic, you cannot stop the rain, but you can choose to enjoy the day indoors or find another way to have fun. This shift in thinking can make a huge difference in how happy we feel. Another important Stoic idea is to focus on the present moment. Often we spend too much time thinking about the past or worrying about the future. But the past is gone, and the future is not guaranteed. The only moment we truly have is now. Stoics believe that by living in the present, we can find peace and joy. Imagine you are walking in a beautiful garden. If you are thinking about yesterday's problems or tomorrow's tasks, you might miss the beauty of the flowers, the sound of the birds, and the feeling of the sun on your skin. By paying attention to the present, we can fully experience life and appreciate the little things that bring us happiness. Stoicism also teaches us to accept things as they are. This does not mean we should not try to improve our lives or solve problems. It means we should not fight against reality. For example, if you lose your job, it is natural to feel sad or worried. But instead of complaining or blaming others, you can accept the situation and focus on finding a new opportunity. Acceptance helps us move forward instead of getting stuck in negative emotions. The Stoics believed that suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. When we accept what happens, we reduce our suffering and open ourselves to new possibilities. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is to prepare for challenges. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, which means thinking about what could go wrong before it happens. This might sound negative, but it is actually a way to build resilience. By imagining difficult situations and how we would handle them, we become stronger and more prepared. For example, if you are afraid of public speaking, you can imagine yourself giving a speech and facing your fears. When the time comes, you will feel more confident because you have already practiced in your mind. This practice helps us face life's difficulties with courage and calmness. Gratitude is another important Stoic principle. The Stoics believe that we should be thankful for what we have, even if it is not perfect. When we focus on what we lack, we feel unhappy. But when we appreciate what we have, we feel content. Take a moment to think about the things you are grateful for. Your health, your family, your friends, or even the simple fact that you are alive. Gratitude helps us see the good in our lives and reminds us that we already have enough to be happy. It shifts our focus from what we want to what we have, and this change in perspective can bring great joy. The Stoics also taught us to see challenges as opportunities. Life is not always easy, and we will face difficulties. But instead of seeing them as problems, we can see them as chances to grow. Every challenge is a test of our strength, patience, and character. When we overcome a difficult situation, we become wiser and stronger. The Stoics believe that obstacles are not something to avoid, but something to embrace because they help us become better people. For example, if you fail at something, you can learn from your mistakes and try again. Each failure is a step closer to success. Another Stoic idea is to live according to nature. This means living in harmony with the world and with our own nature. We are human beings, and we have limits. We cannot do everything, and we cannot be perfect. The Stoics believed that we should accept our limitations and focus on what is truly important. This includes being honest, kind, and responsible. When we live according to our values, we feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment. We do not need to chase after fame, money, or material things to be happy. True happiness comes from living a meaningful life and being true to ourselves. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of self-discipline. This means controlling our desires and impulses. In today's world, we are often tempted by instant gratification. We want things quickly and easily. But the Stoics believe that real happiness comes from self-control and patience. For example, if you want to achieve a goal, you need to work hard and stay focused, even when it is difficult. Self-discipline helps us overcome laziness, procrastination, and distractions. It allows us to stay on track and achieve what we truly want in life. Finally, the Stoics taught us to remember that life is short. This might sound sad, but it is actually a reminder to make the most of every moment. We do not know how much time we have, so we should not waste it on things that do not matter. Instead, we should focus on what is important: our relationships, our passions, and our personal growth. The Stoics believed that by remembering our mortality, we can live more fully and appreciate the time we have. This does not mean we should live in fear, but that we should live with intention and purpose. In conclusion, the Stoic secret to happiness is not about having a perfect life or avoiding problems. It is about changing how we think and how we respond to life's challenges. By focusing on what we can control, living in the present, accepting reality, preparing for difficulties, practicing gratitude, seeing challenges as opportunities, living according to nature, practicing self-discipline, and remembering that life is short, we can find peace and happiness. Stoicism teaches us that true happiness comes from within, not from external things. It is a philosophy of strength, resilience, and wisdom. So, the next time you face a difficult situation, remember the Stoic principles and ask yourself, what can I control? How can I grow from this? What am I grateful for? By applying these ideas, you can find happiness even in the toughest times. Life is not always easy, but with the Stoic mindset, you can navigate it with grace and find joy in the journey.